Don't forget to like, subscribe and share the videos.
Hello all, welcome to Ganesh IAS Academy. This is the special session. In this session, we are going to discuss about the previous year UPSC Mains economic question. Let's begin the session. This question was asked in 2024, which means it's a recent mains exam, and also it's a 15 mark 250 words question. First of all, the question is about a Udan scheme. First I start to read the question. What is the need for expanding the regional air connectivity in India? In this context, discuss the government's Udan scheme and its achievements. So, the major thing is first you need to find the keywords of this question. So, here the keyword is regional air connectivity. This is the first keyword, and the second is about Udan scheme. Okay, so the question is demanding from you is first is the need for the regional air connectivity. Second, what it is demanding is discuss the government's Udan scheme. Next, you have to say about its achievements. Before that, you have to give an intro and then you have to conclude your answer. So, before starting your answer, you have to list all this thing in your memory itself, or else do a rough work. In a rough sheet, you have to try it. So, intro you have to give, and also needs, Udan scheme and its achievement, and the conclusion. These are the things the question is actually demanding. And also here the keyword is the regional air connectivity and Udan scheme. So, based on this, you have to do a brainstorming. So, what are the things I have to give in the paper? So, in that way, you have to do a brainstorming and also try to make some points related to that before you are starting your answer. Because it's a 15 mark question, you have to fill a 2.5 page. So, in that scenario, you will definitely deviate from your answer, or else you will forget any important points. There is a possibility for that also. In that scenario, try to do a brainstorming, and in the rough sheet, try to make a note of it. What are the points I'm going to write? What are the first points? What are the second points? What are the third points? In such a way, you have to prioritize your answer. So this is the first thing you have to do before approaching the 15 mark questions. Because it's a 15 mark question, it is a 2.5 page question. So in that scenario, you have to think a lot, because it is a 15 mark, means definitely there is a possibility for getting around 11 or 12 marks. So if it is an extraordinary answer, you will definitely get around 12 mark also. So there is a possibility for that also. In that scenario, try to think a lot. So your thinking process will be in a much more speedy one, and also at the same time, you have to do a brainstorming with the intro, needs, Udan, achievements and conclusions within around 30 seconds. 30 seconds itself a huge time. At least within a 30 seconds, you have to think everything about this question. Then you have to start it. So here, what I'm going to give in the intro is, either you can go for a need for the expanding the air connectivity, or else you can simply say about the Udan scheme, when it was introduced, what is the aim of it, how it is doing its work. In that way, you can give your intro. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to speak about the regional air connectivity. When it comes to India, India is a developing country, and also there are many issues faced by the India. For example, issue of poverty, unemployment, lack of infrastructures. Like this, there are many issues, but at the same time, government is trying to address all the things with the specific themes. For example, when it comes to poverty, they are focusing on the MG Narega, and also they are providing many subsidies, and also they are providing many credit facilities to the street vendors, unorganized sectors. They are focusing many things. And also when it comes to the unemployment also, they are doing many things like Skill India, Startup India. So when it comes to lack of infrastructure, they are focusing on the SCs. So in that way, they are doing a lot of things related to this thing. But still there is a major issues about the regional disparity. So the major issue of India is about this regional disparities. The growth is concentrated in specific region. That is the major issue when it comes to the India's forecast. So for example, even though India is focusing on increasing its infrastructures, the infra is focusing only on the cities, and also it is mainly focusing on the tier 1 cities. For example, Chennai only grow, Bangalore only grow, Mumbai only it's growing actually. So in that scenario, there is a regional disparities are there. So in that scenario, there is the issue of addressing this inclusive growth. It is a major question mark to make a inclusive growth. So there is a major issues about this regional disparities and also inequality. So these are the major concerns when India focusing on their growth. So how this Udan scheme or the air connectivity is going to overcome it? In that way, you have to give the intro. Here, expanding the regional air connectivity is crucial for India to foster its inclusive growth, economic development, overcome the regional disparities, and infrastructural accessibility. So this is the way you can give the intro, because based on these things, I am giving this intro. Okay, so this is the better intro, or else you can say simply about what is the Udan scheme. Okay, what are the things they are focusing in this Udan scheme? In that way also you can give the intro. It's up to you. But for this question, this is the about the need or the expanding the regional air connectivity, why it is important. In that way you can give the intro. That is the best one. Next, the first part of the question, the body of the answer in the first part of the question is, what is the need for expanding the regional air connectivity in India? So you have to speak about its needs. So you have to give a subheading, needs for the expanding regional air connectivity. So when it comes to needs, the first major need is to overcome the regional disparities. So to overcome the regional disparities, we need the regional air connectivity. So that itself you can say that. And also to create an inclusive growth, to overcome the regional disparities, to create inclusive growth, and also to provide the employment opportunities for based on the, for example, if you are providing the air connectivity to the tier 2 and tier 3 cities, so what will happen is there will be the growth in employment either through the trade activities, or else through the tourism, or else the industrial growth. So industries will easily get the raw materials through the air shipments, and also they can ship their uh, ship their products. Okay, ship their output or the products to the foreign nations through the same air connectivity. If it, even if it is a foreign nation or a domestic country, okay, for both the thing they can do this thing. So air connectivity is also enhances the employment opportunity. Also it will enhances the social security. So social security means nothing but it is about education, health, skill. So these are about the social security. So if there is a air connectivity, yeah, the persons, okay, the persons can easily move out of the region for a educational needs or a health needs, or for updating their skills, they can easily move out of that region. So air connectivity is going to help in that manner also. Okay, so overcome the regional disparities, economic growth and employment, improve the accessibility and reduces the travel time. So when it comes to road connectivity, or else when it comes to the ship, okay, ship connectivities, for all this thing, more than that, the air connectivity is having a very lower time. Okay, so based on that thing, it will reduces the travel time also. So that is another benefit. So you have to say that these are the needs for the expanding regional air connectivities in India. Next, the second part of the question. In this context, discuss the government's Udan scheme. So you have to speak about the Udan scheme. So what are the features of this Udan scheme? That is the important things you have to give. So here it is focusing on encouraging the regional aviations by enhancing the infrastructure services at underserved and unserved airports. So that is the major thing. So it is mainly focusing on the tier 2 and tier 3 cities. So in that way, it is trying to cover the regions that are unconnected and also underserved, unserved regions. Okay. Next, providing affordable airfares. For example, it is capped at 2,500. So that is the maximum fare based on this Udan scheme. Next, it is going to provide the viability gap funding. So this is the most important economic term. So what is the gap? So for example, the government is focusing on increasing the infrastructures in specific region. For example, the government is focusing on providing the telecom. Okay, so they are focusing on the internet services in the northeastern region. Okay, the government is now trying to provide the internet services to the northeastern region, but when it comes to the northeast regions, the consumer base will be very low. In that scenario, the private companies, they won't ready to construct their towers, or else providing the internet services on that region will be limited because their consumer base is very low. So they will make a losses, so they won't focus on the northeastern region. So in that scenario, what the government will try to do is they will try to bridge this gap. So the gap is between the revenue they are spending and the profit they are going to make. So this is the gap. So for example, the telecom company need to spend around 100 crore on that region, means they will only get around 75 crores as a return. So in that scenario, there is a gap of 25 crore. So in that scenario, they won't go for the construction of any towers or infrastructural growth on that region, in the northeastern region, because they are going to make a loss of 25 crore. What the government will try to do is, the government will try to bridge this gap of 25 crore by providing a money. So this is called as viability gap funding. Okay, so this is called as viability gap funding. So there is a need for the growth of the infrastructures to provide the inclusive growth, but due to the loss, most of the companies won't focus on that region. To overcome that thing, the government will provide a money. So this is called as viability gap funding. It is comes under the public private partnership. Okay, so in that way, the government is providing a money to the private companies to increases the air connectivities in the regions of the tier 2 and tier 3 regions. Because when it comes to tier 2 and tier 3 regions, the people who are going to use the air connectivity will be very low. In that scenario, the private companies won't ready to build their infras on that region. To overcome that thing, the government is providing the gap funding. Okay, next. Other than that, the Udan scheme is also focusing on providing the operational subsidies. They will provide the subsidies for the fuel and aircraft and maintenance cost. So these are the many things the government is trying to provide. And the last thing is route allocations. The government will allocate the routes also. So these are the major things about the UDAN scheme. Okay. So discuss the government's UDAN scheme and its achievements. So you have to give the achievements also. So civilization alone, the sector has shown the consistent year-on-year growth of approximately 15% in passengers numbers since the scheme introduced. So 15% growth rate in the passengers numbers. So that is the major achievement. And also the scheme achievement includes the operationalizing 74 airports in 2014 to 157 airports by 2024. That is the major achievement. And also it developed the remote airport in the remote regions like Darbhanga in Bihar and Pangyang in Sikkim. So these are the major achievements did by this UDAN scheme. So this is the way you have to structure your answer. Okay. Afterwards, in the conclusion, you have to say that even though it is focusing on the providing the inclusive growth, still there is many things we need to focus. For example, the recent issues like hoax call. Always try to conclude your answer either in a positive way or with current events. Okay. So the major issue now the civil aviation is facing is about the hoax call. Okay, the bomb threats. In that way, there is a many hoax call are there. So that is the issue. So the government need to address this hoax call in a more speedy manner. The government is trying to do that. They are saying that no fly passenger. They introduce the no fly passengers, which means they can't board a flight for more than 5 years. So in that way, if any person is making a hoax call, they will be listed in the no fly passengers. So in that list means you can't able to use the air connectivity. So that is the way the government is trying to do that. But still we need to do lot related to the security and safety of the air services. In that way you try to conclude it, because even though we are focusing lot about the infrastructural growth, still the attitude of the people to use the air connectivity, which is very minimal due to the reason is, the major reason is about the safety and security. So the government need to focus more on the safety and security of the passengers. In that way, they can easily achieve the greater growth rate in the passenger. If it is a 15% year on year means it will be around 30 or 40% if the safety and security is provided. Because UDAN scheme is capped its prices around 2,500 only. In that scenario, it is not the issue of about the price. Okay, it is not the issue of the affordability. The major issue is here is safety and the security. So the government need to focus on that thing. In that way, you try to conclude your answer. Okay, so that is more positive way, or else trying to address your question based on the current events. Okay, so this is the way you have to give the answer. This is the structure you need to follow for a 15-mark question. Thank you.